Portland's housing inventory flipped in a single month, and most buyers didn't catch it. At the same time, a $1 billion waterfront project, the tallest tower in northern New England, and a $200 million downtown overhaul are all moving forward right now. I've been in this market my whole life, and I've never seen all of this line up at once. Stick with me, because it's already changing what buyers need to do this spring to stay ahead. Portland felt quiet earlier this year. Homes were sitting, buyers were taking their time, nothing felt rushed. Then March hit, and that changed again. Open houses got busy again, phones started ringing, homes that had been sitting suddenly had multiple buyers walking through. That pace is carried into spring. Buyers are back out there and homes are moving much quicker. At the same time, more listings are hitting the market. So there's more to choose from than there were just a few months ago. Back in February, some homes were sitting around a month on the market. By March, that got cut down fast, and it kept tightening into April. You could feel the difference week to week, and in a few minutes, I'll show you exactly what's happening in the Old Port right now, because that's where you really start to see why demand picks up this time of year. Now, more homes are coming online across Cumberland County, and buyers who have been waiting are starting to step back in because of that. But inventory is still tight. There's only about 2 months of supply for single-family homes in Greater Portland, with condos a bit higher. A balanced market would have had a lot more than that. So sellers still have the edge, but not as much as before. You're seeing that in how homes are selling. More than half are closing under asking price right now, so not everything is turning into a bidding war. But homes that are priced right and show well are still getting multiple offers and are going over asking. Rates have also come down from where they were. They're not back to the old lows, but they've eased enough to change the monthly payment. For some buyers, that's what gets them off the sidelines. Spring is still the key window. April and May and June are when most sellers list. After that, things slow as people try to settle in before school starts. If you've been thinking about selling, this is the time. By this point, you're probably trying to figure out where you fit in all this. And I see this every single day with buyers and sellers around Greater Portland. Whether you're thinking about selling, trying to lock in timing, or just trying to figure out what areas make the most sense, that's the conversation. If you want a clear read on your situation this spring, shoot me a message. My info's on the screen and in the description below. Now let's get back into it. Portland isn't moving as one market right now. Condos and single-family homes are doing different things, and where you're looking in the city changes what you're dealing with. Munjoy Hill and Deering Center are good examples. Same city, but they don't behave the same at all. On the Peninsula, Munjoy Hill, West End, Old Port, and most of what you'll see are condos and multifamily buildings. It's dense, you can walk everywhere, and there's usually more listings coming on. So there's more movement, more turnover, and once you get off the Peninsula into places like Deering Center or Rosemont, it slows down a bit. You've got tree-lined streets, older homes, actual yards, and right away you notice there just aren't many of them. That difference showed up pretty clearly over the past year. Condos had a rough stretch. Homes were sitting closer to 3 weeks instead of just a few days, and a big number just didn't sell. Buyers were more careful, especially with HOA costs and building conditions. Then March hit, and that changed fast. Actively came back, prices moved up, and the right units started moving in about a week again. In some cases, they were even closing above asking price. The East End especially has stayed strong, partially because of how close it is to the water and the Old Port. Later on, I'll break down what's actually getting built across the peninsula right now, because that's what started to shape how both of these markets move. Now, single-family homes didn't have the same swing. In Deering Center and Rosemont, prices have been holding in the high 500s to low 600 range. Nothing too dramatic, just steady. The bigger thing here is supply. Most of these homes were built a long time ago, late 1800s, early 1900s, and you're not really getting more of that product right now. So when a good one comes up, it tends to move fast. So if you're looking at condos on the peninsula, you're stepping into a market that has picked up again and can move quickly depending on the property. If you're looking at a single-family home off the peninsula, you might get a little more time, but you're working with fewer options. So when the right one shows up, you still need to act. The split is a big part of how buyers are moving right now, especially as more people start spending time in the Old Port and nearby neighborhoods again. Every spring, the Old Port fills back in. You go from quieter streets and open tables to people out all day, sitting outside, walking between spots, spending time down there again. By spring, cruise ships are coming back in on a steady schedule. They dock right at the Ocean Gateway or the Main State Pier, and people step off and walk right into the Old Port. There's no gap between arrival and activity, which is why the change feels quick once it starts. From there, the flow stays consistent. Visitors move along Commercial Street into restaurants, shops, and tours. Places that had room all winter are now running wait lists. Harbor tours are starting to fill early in the day. Shops stay active from morning to evening. That pattern builds as the season goes on. April starts lighter and May fills in, and by summer there's a lot more people moving through the same area every day. Besides, the neighborhoods around Commercial Street feel it too. If you're within walking distance, there's more activity around you, more people coming and going during the day. Homes in those sections tend to get more attention once the season starts going, because buyers can actually see how active the location is in real time. Short-term rentals get a lot of activity too. Places near the Old Port are usually booked up by now, and there's even more demand than there are spots available. Even with more places coming up, prices have held and they're still getting booked. So being close to the waterfront makes a real difference for these homes. And we'll get into what the city feels like outside of the waterfront in a minute, because that's where people really start picturing themselves living here. Now, another cool part of the waterfront is that it's still working. Boats are coming in and out, and places like the Harbor Fish Market are just part of everyday life. There's also a new addition coming in right now. Portland Harbor Common is being built along the eastern waterfront near the corner of Commercial and India Streets. It's a public waterfront space with open seating, walkways, and room for events, giving people a place to stay along the water and spend time there. It just broke ground and is expected to be ready by the end of the year. This part of the city follows a clear seasonal pattern. When spring hits, activity usually builds, and the neighborhoods around it move with it. Portland doesn't usually build like this. It's a smaller city, everything is tight, and things tend to move slower. So what's happening right now is a big deal. There's a lot going up, and it's all happening in a place that doesn't have room to spread out. The biggest project coming along is Portland Foreside on the eastern waterfront. That whole area used to be industrial, and now it's turning into a full neighborhood. The total project has crossed well over $1 billion, and it's already in progress. Some of it is already there. There's a marina built for larger boats, a big office building, and an old warehouse that's now home to the restaurant 12. What's coming next is where it fills in. A 130-room hotel with 38 residences, around 130 condos, and about 200 apartments. A small portion of those are set aside as affordable units, and a big chunk of the land is staying open with parks and walking paths along the water, so it's not just all buildings. Then you've got something right in the Old Port. A 30-story tower got approved in December last year at 45 Union Street. This would be the tallest building in Maine, and also the tallest anywhere in northern New England. The plan is about 70 condos, a hotel with about 90 rooms, and there's retail on the ground floor and a restaurant at the top with views over the city. It's not under construction yet, but the approval alone says a lot. Projects like this don't usually get a unanimous vote here. Another one to watch is the old Press Herald site on Congress Street. That's turning into a project in the range of $200 million to $300 million. The first phase is a 14-story building with around 110 condos, and later phases add 100 more units plus a hotel and retail. That spot connects downtown to the rest of the city, so it helps tie the whole area together. You're also seeing changes in Bayside. That area has been shifting for a while, from older commercial buildings into housing and mixed use. It's close enough to walk to downtown, and more projects are starting to show up here. Up on Munjoy Hill, there's a smaller project around the Eastern Prom. It's about 13 high-end condos, all in that multi-million-dollar range, and they're expected to be done late this year or early next year. All this is happening in a place that can't really expand. The peninsula is surrounded by water, so anything new usually replaces something that was already there. So even with all these projects, you don't suddenly get a wave of new homes. They come in gradually. That's the setup here. The city is building and changing, but still within its tight limits. May is when Portland really starts to feel like Portland again. You're outside more, people are out, the city has just different energy. Saturday mornings at Deering Oaks Park are probably the easiest way to see that. The farmers market is back. It kicked off again in mid-April and runs every Saturday and Wednesday into late November. It's been around for over 250 seasons, so it's already part of life here. You've got local farms, food, flowers, all set up in a big 55-acre park with a pond and trees. People grab coffee, walk around, and run into the same faces. It feels very familiar. That same kind of energy shows up at Thompson's Point. They've got a full spring schedule going. The Makers Market in May brings in a bunch of local vendors and food from around New England. Then a few days later, the Symphony does its concert there. When the summer comes, the outdoor venue fills up with shows. People out in the evening, lights on, the river right there. Another big one is the First Friday Art Walk. It's a monthly event where galleries, studios, and museums across the art district stay open late, and people can walk between them for free. It's been going on since 2000, and in May, with the longer days, everything stays open. People are moving along Congress Street, going in and out of galleries, just spending time out. And it keeps going into June. You've got the Old Port Half Marathon running through the waterfront, people out and about all over the city. At the same time, ferries across Casco Bay start running more regularly, so getting out to Peaks Island just becomes something you can do again. All of that plays into how people think about living here. When someone comes up in May, they start to realize it's more than just houses. Once they see all the activity, it gets easier to picture themselves here. They're out at the market, downtown at night, by the water during the day, and just seeing what a normal week actually looks like. That's what makes decisions easier, and a couple days in the city this time of year can answer a lot of questions pretty clearly. And it lines up with the market too. April, May, and June are when most homes hit the market, before things slow down later in the summer. So this time of year does that for you. People see the city in motion, and that sticks. Spring 2026 isn't the kind of market you sit back and wait on. Right now, you've got more inventory coming out, rates in a better spot, and the city fully coming back to life at once. That doesn't line up every year, and it doesn't last long. If you're serious about making a move in Greater Portland this spring, reach out to me. My email's on the screen. I'll help you figure out which areas still have opportunity and where you need to be ready to make a move fast. And if you want to go deeper on what's being built here, I've linked a video that breaks down the $250 million plan to transform downtown Portland. Check it out, and I'll see you in the next one.